I can't believe we're even having this conversation. But there is no world where the Arizona Cardinals should draft Jeremiyah Love with the 3rd overall pick. What do I mean by that? Let's talk about that and much more next.
The Ben Garcia Show. Yeah. Woo. Best show in the land. Yup. Listen. Come and get your information from Ben Garcia. Get the latest on your quarterback, running backs, and receivers. Tune in, so any other show you don't need them. Any news that he giving out, please just believe him. Giving out the latest prediction and top-notch analysis. Wanna hear the truth, better have thick skin like callus. The latest move that your team just made can be damaging. The dudes ain't speaking no facts, they just be rambling. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. Yeah. Lights, camera, action, turn on the show, go get the cameraman. The Ben Garcia Show.
What is up? Welcome into yet another edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Wherever you may be listening, however you may be listening, watching, consuming, viewing, locked on Phoenix Suns. What am I doing right now? Watching the Ben Garcia Show. Appreciate you guys doing so and making this show your first listen. Do me a favor, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. And of course, follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. If you want to see my takes as they happen in real time. One of the things that I'm noticing in real time is that the date on this show is wrong. It should say that this is the 2nd day of March. Instead, it still says it's the 1st day of March. So right there, immediately, my first mistake of the show. Not great having that happen in the first, 5 seconds that the show decided to that the show has started. So if that's the case, we are definitely on the trajectory of a bang-up show this morning on this edition of the Ben Garcia Show. Okay, so let's start in what I believe is the most mind-boggling thing, the most absolute diabolical mind-boggling thing of this Cardinals draft cycle. So it's interesting how this arose because there was legitimately no one. That's not true because I know a couple of guys. There was a handful of people making the argument that the Cardinals should draft Jeremiyah Love. But to be fair, I don't think I've seen anyone before this weekend talk about drafting a running back 3rd overall. I've seen a couple of different guys. My guy Brian Abdullah. Oh, literally in the chat right now. Ben about to fight the Lover Boys. Yeah, that's kind of my MO. My guy Brian Abdullah in the chat. I actually have seen him, and I think 2 other people mock Jeremiyah Love to the Arizona Cardinals, but I don't think I've seen anyone do it at the 3rd overall pick. This is such a diabolical draft strategy that I literally don't know where to start. So if I'm jumping around a bit, I apologize. But there are so many reasons why this is a horrific idea at number 3. God, where do we start? Oh, you know what? Let's start here. And this is a tweet I put out last night that has since been deleted because everyone was talking about how I said Ezekiel Elliott ended up being a bust, which is it a stretch to say Ezekiel Elliott is a bust? Absolutely. I'm not going to sit here and die on that take, but it was just funny to see everyone who was against drafting Jeremiyah or who was for drafting Jeremiyah Love look at that tweet and only talk about the Ezekiel Elliott thing, who, by the way, did not warrant the 4th overall selection in the NFL draft. He was really good in the beginning, super tailed off, especially after he got paid. But here are some of the running backs that are drafted top 10. This isn't even first round running backs. Let's just talk about the top 10. I will give Jeremiyah Love people that. the top 10 of running backs drafted in the first round over the last decade, Ashton Jeanty, 6th. Did not have 1,000 yards rushing this year, averaged 3.7 yards per carry. Bijan Robinson, elite level player. Elite level player, but how is he equated to more wins with the Falcons? How many playoff appearances do they have? None. Saquon Barkley, 2nd overall with the New York Giants. How many playoff wins they have? 1. You know what's crazy? Saquon Barkley's statistics on the New York Giants aren't actually that insane. And it's not because Saquon Barkley isn't awesome. It's because their offensive line was so putrid. He got hurt a couple of times. 1,300 rushing yards his rookie year. Really good. 1,003 yards his second year. To be fair, that was in 13 games. 2020, he was injured. 2021, I believe he got injured again. Only had 500 rushing yards. 2022, he had 1,300 rushing yards. That was the year they won that playoff game. And in his final season in New York, he failed to have 1,000 rushing yards again. Now, is he a superb level player? Absolutely. But, again, do you think the Giants regret taking a running back 2nd overall when they've got a bunch of other issues? Ashton Jeanty, 6th overall, 3.7 yards per carry. Bijan Robinson, absolutely an elite level player. How is he equated to any wins for the Atlanta Falcons? How? Because that's what matters, right? We're chasing wins. How many wins has he helped the Atlanta Falcons get and change the trajectory of that team? Not great, right? Well, Ben, it's because they don't have a quarterback. Weird. It's crazy. Almost like the running back position doesn't matter as much as quarterback, left tackle, tight end, wide receiver. Like, I would argue the running back position, depending on what your offensive line looks like, is maybe the 5th most important position on offense. Quarterback, left tackle, right tackle, wide receiver, tight end. Center. Could you argue center is more important? The running back position is so based off of who your offensive line is. But anyways, again, I'm getting sidetracked. That is going to happen a lot today, so I apologize. Ashton Jeanty, 6th. Bijan Robinson, 8th. Saquon Barkley, 2nd. That's the cream of the crop, really. Because then you got Leonard Fournette, was just a bust. Like, are we going to make the argument Leonard Fournette was not a bust? He had 2,000-yard rushing seasons and was drafted 4th overall. He hasn't played in the league since 2023. He had 2,000-yard seasons. His first 1,000-yard season was only 1,040 yards. So if you want to consider that being the 4th overall pick, that being great, then awesome. Christian McCaffrey, 8th overall. Ezekiel Elliott, 4th overall. Between Ashton Jeanty, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, and Ezekiel Elliott, all running backs who were taken in the top 10, guess how many playoff wins those teams got with the original team that drafted them? 1. 1 singular playoff victory. And that was Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys years ago. It's just so wild to me. But the lone playoff victory from all these running backs, from the teams that originally drafted them, 1 playoff win. And the last playoff, I'm sorry, that's not true. 2 playoff wins. I apologize. I have it right here. 2 playoff wins. 1 with Saquon Barkley, 1 with Ezekiel Elliott. 2 between Ashton Jeanty, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott, all 5 running backs, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all 6 running backs taken the top 10 over the last decade, 2 playoff wins. Saquon Barkley and the Giants when they beat up on the Vikings years ago, and Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys when they beat the Seattle Seahawks. All those guys did not equate to actual victories. And I see the other argument, and you know what? No, I'm not going to give you guys that, because a lot of you guys will say, well, those guys are good players. Fine. Let's go through all the running backs taken in the first round over the last decade. Ashton Genty and Amarian Hampton. Which one of them were difference makers last year? Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in 2023. No, actually not bad. Then there was no running backs taken in the first round in 2024 or 2022. Then in 2021, Najee Harris, 24th overall, was said, he was supposed to be the guy who was supposed to help the Steelers' offensive line. Had that work out. He's a bust. Travis Etienne, 25th overall. 2020, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He was 32nd overall. 2019, Josh Jacobs, 24th overall. They already let him walk. And then Saquon Barkley, Rashad Penny, Sony Michel in 2018. I mean, Rashad Penny was, again, a bust. Sony Michel, borderline a bust. Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, Ezekiel Elliott. Those are all the running backs taken in the first round in the past decade. And in 2024 and 2022, no first-round running backs were taken. But Ashton Genty and Amarian Hampton in 2025, what did they do to help their playoff success? Amarian Hampton was injured most of the year. 2023, Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs didn't really become the bell cow back until last year. Let's not have revisionist history. Although both Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson are obviously very good. 2021, Najee Harris, 24th overall. Travis Etienne, 25th overall. Have either of them warranted those selections? 2020, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And not to mention, Najee Harris is already shipped out of Pittsburgh. 2020, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 32nd overall. Not even with the Chiefs anymore. Josh Jacobs, 24th overall. Not even with the Raiders anymore. Saquon Barkley, 2nd overall. Not even with the Giants anymore. Rashad Penny, out of the league. Sony Michel, out of the league. Leonard Fournette, 4th overall. Went over to the Buccaneers, only had 2,000-yard seasons. Christian McCaffrey, 8th overall. Never played in a meaningful game until he was traded to the 49ers. Ezekiel Elliott, 4th overall. Was really good in the beginning, like elite in the beginning, and then completely tailed off after he got paid. I mean, I haven't even looked at the chat this morning because it seems like there's a decent amount of you guys watching, but it's just interesting to me. And to my guy Brian in the chat, Ezekiel Elliott wasn't even the best running back in that class. Derrick Henry was. So Jeremiyah Love feels so similar to Marvin Harrison Jr. just 2 short years ago. Last year when I begged for this 2 years ago when I begged for this Cardinals team to draft Joe Alt over Marvin Harrison Jr. They selected Marvin Harrison Jr. because he was a generational talent and he couldn't miss. Oh, turns out you can miss. Now, is Marvin Harrison Jr. a bust? I don't know. Maybe. We don't know that for sure yet. Jeremiyah Love, he might be the 3rd overall selection for the Arizona Cardinals. Should you really do that? Is there anyone really generational or can't miss in the NFL draft? Marvin Harrison Jr. I talked to multiple people that cover this. Scouts, head guys that cover this. Marvin Harrison Jr. was their highest graded player ever. Highest graded player ever. That's how high he was. Generational. And he has not been the player he was supposed to be in the NFL. Marvin Harrison Jr., generational, bust proof. Okay. I was getting in a Twitter dispute with another person on social media. And he's literally arguing to trade Marvin Harrison Jr. right now, who is supposed to be the generational can't miss wide receiver. But then he wants to draft Jeremiyah Love. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Leonard Fournette had 2 playoff wins with the Jaguars in 2017, just to be transparent. Brian, I know what you're saying. Leonard Fournette, I looked that up. That was the 20. Okay, you know what? You might be right. You might be right with Leonard Fournette on that one because that was I looked it up last night. I typed in 2018 conference championship game. That makes sense. that Leonard Fournette was 2017. But that was the 2017 season turned into the 2018 championship game. So that is fair. That is fair. So 4 playoff wins between those 10 guys. Those 10 first-round picks, 4 playoff wins. Both sporadic and few and far in between. Doesn't change how I feel about it. So good catch, Brian. I looked up 2018 conference championship game, but that was the 2017 season, so I was wrong on that one. Not like, and I've seen this argument made before too. Well, if he's just the best player in the draft, you have to take him. Do you really? Is Marvin Harrison Jr. was that not the thing? Like, I'm not even the offensive line guy. I'm the take the best edge rusher because I do think taking an offensive tackle at 3 feels a little high. But when it comes to selecting what the Cardinals should be doing, yeah, edge, tackle, I would take Caleb Downs over I would Jeremiyah Love because I'm just not interested in paying a running back either. Like, it's so funny to me. We want to be a functional organization. You know, we want the Arizona Cardinals to be a functional organization so badly, yet we want them to do what dysfunctional organizations do. You know, we talked about those playoff wins, right? Here are the teams that have selected running backs in the top 10 over the last decade. The Falcons haven't won anything in forever. Raiders, when was the last time they won something? Chargers, when was the last time they won something? The top 10 overall running backs, I'm sorry. Ashton Genty, what have the Raiders won? Falcons, what have the Falcons won? And Bijan Robinson. Giants, they've been a dumpster fire for forever. Jaguars, they've been a dumpster fire for forever. The Panthers finally squeaked their way into the playoffs this year in the worst division in football. And then, of course, the Dallas Cowboys, who haven't been to a conference championship game in 25 years. We want the Cardinals to do functional. We want the Cardinals to be functional, but we ask them to do dysfunctional things. Look at your own division. Your own division. The Seattle Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl MVP in Kenneth Walker, who was awesome in the Super Bowl. They're going to let him walk because you know what they think? Yeah, we'll just draft another guy in the 3rd round and get the same production. And yet, we have people advocating for the Cardinals to go select a running back 3rd overall. It's so nauseating. It's so nauseating. I don't get it. You have one functional organization who just won the Super Bowl, about to let go of their Super Bowl MVP running back. Totally, like, they're just going to let him walk. And then you have the Cardinals, who people are advocating for to select a running back 3rd overall. Well, Ben, he's the best player available in the draft. That might be true. 100% that might be true. No one is advocating that Jeremiyah Love isn't good or he's a bust waiting to happen. I am advocating that there's no one that isn't bust-proof. Everyone busts. I mean, right now, Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like a bust. Is he going to stay that way? I don't know. Does he look like it right now? Yes, he does. And let's say, if Jeremiyah Love's the best player in the draft, fine. What is Ruben Bain Jr. or David Bailey? The 5th best players in the draft? 6th? Which I don't even think that's true. I think they're higher than that. But let's say that they're the 4th best player in the draft. You're saying they should you're saying they should take the running back, which is not a premium position in the NFL, because he's better at being a running back than David Bailey and Ruben Bain are as edges, or Francis Mauigoa as an offensive tackle. What are we doing here? What are we like? It legitimately makes no sense. Less than that, 0 sense. And I can't subscribe into that notion. I can't subscribe into it. I won't subscribe into it. It's crazy. Yes, it's crazy. Under no circumstance can the Arizona Cardinals draft a running back third overall. Now, let me throw this out there really quickly. I don't want them to trade back, just so we're clear. But if they trade back to 8th overall for God knows what reason, yeah, I'll change my tune a little bit. I still won't love the pick, but I will change my tune a little bit. But at 3rd overall, it is such an irresponsible move when you have massive issues at the tackle position and at the edge rusher position. Well, Ben, Jeremiyah Love's the best player in the draft. What's Reuben Bain Jr., David Bailey, and Francis Mauigoa? They're all top 8 prospects. You're telling me I should take number 1 at a position that is not a premium need over number 4 because he's better at being a running back than David Bailey or Reuben Bain Jr. is at being an edge. What are we doing? I wish Cardinals fans and media would just be honest about this. You want Jeremiyah Love here because it's fun, and it would be fun. It ain't responsible. I can't, it's crazy, man. It's legitimately like I am taking crazy pills. What impact to winning does the running back position ultimately have? People were pointing at me Saquon Barkley last night. What did Saquon Barkley do without the Eagles' offensive line? Nothing. Legitimately, the best offensive line maybe in the last 15 years. Yeah, he was elite then. The running back is only as good as your offensive line. And you want to pass up on your offensive line for the running back. And I'm not even advocating for Francis Mauigoa or Spencer Fanu at 3. And I like those guys. And if they take him at 3, I understand it. But I'm more interested in fixing the edge spots because it's a more premium position and there's better players there. It's so bleeping crazy because we weren't even having this conversation. We weren't even having this conversation before the combine. But because Jeremiyah Love ran a really fast 40, now we're like, gotta take this guy. Guys, I knew he was fast before the combine. It's crazy, man. It is absolutely crazy. Just under no circumstance can this team take a running back 3rd overall. No one is arguing that Jeremiyah Love isn't going to be awesome at the NFL level. He very well might be. However, acting like players can't miss just because you feel like they're generational doesn't actually make them not miss. Because I look at Marvin Harrison Jr. and I say, oh, you've missed before. I mean, look at the teams over the past decade who have taken running backs 10 overall. The Raiders, dysfunctional. The Falcons, what have they done ever since the Super Bowl years ago where they blew it? The Giants have been dysfunctional for over a decade. The Jaguars, dysfunctional for a very long time until they got Liam Cohen. The Panthers, dysfunctional until this year. Ezekiel Elliott and the Dallas Cowboys haven't been to a conference championship game in 25 years. This is what dysfunctional organizations do. They draft running backs this high. You might feel like they're going to be great. You might feel like they're going to be good players. There's just more positions that matter at a premium. When you talk about it's crazy. It's so crazy. Under no circumstance can the Arizona Cardinals take Jeremiyah Love 3rd overall. And the argument has just been, well, you got to take best player available. Sure. At a premium position. Running back is not a premium position. And as I've mentioned before, I just think it's hilarious. You've got one team in the NFC West who just won a Super Bowl and are going to move off of their Super Bowl MVP running back because they know they can find the production elsewhere and for a lot cheaper. And then I have Cardinals fans and media advocating for Jeremiyah Love at 3. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like, it is beyond crazy. And when you look at the teams who have drafted a running back over the last decade, they are all dysfunctional organizations, or at least they all appear as dysfunctional organizations, or organizations that haven't won anything in years. The Raiders, the Falcons, the Giants, the Jags, the Panthers, the Cowboys. And now we think it's the right idea. Not to mention, a running back legitimately does not matter. A running back is only as good as their offensive line. They're only as good as their offensive line. And it is going to be kind of comical this year if the Cardinals take Jeremiyah Love at 3, and I see people complaining about the offensive line and about the fact that they can't get to the quarterback. You have not earned the right to take Jeremiyah Love. You have not. Taking Jeremiyah Love at 3 is like buying a Ferrari when you've got $100,000 in student loan debt. You've got all these other issues, but you want to go get the shiny new toy. That was Marv. We passed up on Joe Alt, or the Cardinals passed up on Joe Alt for Marvin Harrison Jr. They already did that, and it blew up in their face. Joe Alt is awesome. Marvin Harrison Jr. right now appears to be a bust. Now, is he going to stay that way? That's unfair, but right now, Marvin Harrison Jr. has not warranted the 4th overall pick. He is not. And at the 3rd overall pick, you are asking for Jeremiyah Love to be a Hall of Fame or perennial Pro Bowl level player, like 8-time Pro Bowler. That's a high bar to set. And then you're going to set him behind a line, which was one of the worst in the NFL last year. It's crazy, man. It's legitimately crazy. Dysfunctional organizations draft running backs in the top 10. They just do. And over the last decade, you see the teams that have done it. The Cowboys haven't won anything in 30 years. The Jags haven't won anything, haven't won a playoff game since 2017. The Giants haven't won a playoff game in forever and have already moved off of Saquon Barkley. The Falcons haven't done anything since blowing a massive Super Bowl lead. And the Raiders, who are bottom of the barrel, dysfunctional organizations. I mean, Clint Kubiak just said the other day that they want to go running back by committee in Las Vegas. It's just funny at this point. It really is just comical. And the idea of you just want to take best player available, and the idea of you just want to take Jeremiyah Love because he's better at being a running back than Ruben Bain is at being an edge rusher, or Francis Mauigoa or Spencer Fanu are at offensive tackle. Okay, man. Like, knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. Not to mention, the weapons of the Cardinals aren't even the problem of this team. Draft Jadarian Price in the 2nd round if you really want a running back. I put out, why would you take Jeremiyah Love when you could take his running mate in the 3rd round? That was the bad take of that was actually saying Price was going to go in the 3rd round. He's more likely an early 2nd round guy. Mel Kiper Jr.'s got him in the 1st round this year. It is so insane. Jeremiyah Love's the best player available in the draft. He also plays running back. Ruben Bain Jr., Francis Mauigoa, Spencer Fanu, David Bailey, they're all top 8 talents in the NFL draft. I mean, Ruben Bain Jr., David Bailey, and Francis Mauigoa are what? Top 6? All of them? But you want to take the running back whose success is directly correlative to the offensive line. I mean, ask yourself this. Would you trade prime Myles Garrett for prime Saquon Barkley? Would you? You wouldn't. Would you trade prime Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey for, prime Lane Johnson? You wouldn't. You would not. So if we want to take him at our best, I'm going to take the best offensive tackle or best edge rusher to combat that. Would you trade TJ Watt for Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey? No, you would. Of course you would not. So why would you take him third overall? Like, there are so many reasons to be against this. There are so many reasons to be against this. And we weren't even talking about this pre-combine. But because Jeremiyah Love ran a fast 40, 4.38, now we're talking about taking him third overall. Hey, guys, I knew how fast he was before the combine. He's fast. I think I got it all out there. I think. I will say, part of me, because I see life as a bit of a comedy, and I want the Cardinals to win games, so don't take this next part super seriously. Part of me is kind of rooting for the Cardinals to take Jeremiyah Love at 3, because I do think it would be very comical to see Cardinals fans complain because he keeps getting tackled behind the line of scrimmage because the offensive line sucks, and of course, because the Cardinals can't get to the quarterback, rushing the passer. That would be funny. I can't lie to you. That would be funny to see that happen. Just be like, what are we doing here, guys? I don't know, man. I don't know. Who is the pick right now? Who should be the pick right now? For me, it's still probably Ruben Bain Jr. or Francis Mauigoa. I think I'm still Ruben Bain Jr. 1, David Bailey 2, Francis Mauigoa 3, Spencer Fanu 4, Jeremiyah Love 5. If you really want me to throw him in there, because I know he is a good player. It just feels like premium positions of need are more important. Not to mention, when Jeremiyah Love, let's say Jeremiyah Love is really good, you're going to have to pay him a boatload of money. What successful teams pay running backs boatloads of money? The second the Eagles gave Saquon Barkley a massive pay raise, he was terrible this year. Or he wasn't elite this year. I shouldn't say he's terrible. That's too far. But that actually has got me thinking. Saquon Barkley stats. Let's see how he was this year. Yeah, 1,100 yards. So he wasn't terrible. But last year averaged 5.8 yards a carry. This year he averaged 4.1 yards a carry. So massive drop off. Wow, man. I can't believe we're here. Also, if Malik Willis needs Jeremiyah Love, Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson, Trey McBride to even somewhat succeed, doesn't that tell you what you think of Malik Willis too? So I would go Ruben Bain Jr., Francis. I would go my top 4 selections right now. At post combine, my top 4 selections for the Arizona Cardinals to pick at number 3 would be Ruben Bain Jr., David Bailey, Francis Mauigoa, and then Spencer Fanu at that 4th spot. So that's where I would go with that right now. Premium positions of need at the edge rusher position, or you help solidify this Cardinals offensive line. And I see people saying we'll take an offensive lineman in the 2nd round. No. How about I take an offensive lineman in the 1st and 2nd round? That's how, look at the Seattle Seahawks this year, man. They are the blueprint. Look at what they did for their offensive line. And I'm not even an offensive line guy. I'm an edge guy. That's who I'm rooting for. So when it comes to these things, it just feels a little bit crazy to me. So I also want to talk about another thing. I want to talk about Kyler Murray before he dips out. It seems like he is going to be just outright cut by the Arizona Cardinals, barring something crazy. I will believe it when I see it, even though I know that I'm probably going to be wrong on this, that I just don't see him getting cut. But obviously it sounds like I'm going to be wrong on this. I have been someone who is kind of in the middle about Kyler Murray. I don't think he's the worst. I don't think he's the best. I think he's somewhere in the middle. But I think this is going to be a hard pill to swallow for the Kyler Murray truthers if Kyler Murray is indeed cut or when Kyler Murray is cut. Because Kyler Murray is someone that Kyler Murray truthers will tell you he's a top 12 quarterback easily on another team. That's fine. Kyler Murray's contract, let's look up really quickly. Quarterback contracts, NFL. The height, Kyler Murray's contract at this point, I should have had this ready, ranks 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Kyler Murray's contract right now, and this is before a CJ Stroud extension that he's probably going to get, and, maybe even Bryce Young extension. Kyler Murray, this is going to be a really hard pill to swallow for Kyler Murray truthers if Kyler Murray, or I guess I should say, when Kyler Murray is released or outright cut by the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray truthers will tell you, and I don't like to call them fanboys or whatever, or what do I know? I don't like to say stans. That I don't want to ever be demeaning towards fans. It's why when people come after me, I don't say anything back. I don't say anything about them personally. I don't curse at fans. But the Kyler Murray thing is interesting because it's going to be a really hard pill to swallow for Kyler Murray truthers if indeed Kyler Murray is outright cut by the Arizona Cardinals. And the reasoning I say that is because for Kyler Murray, this is someone who is seen as a top 12 prospect. This is someone who is seen as a top 12 quarterback by most of his fans. And when I say that appears not to be true is because Kyler Murray's contract is top 12 in the NFL. He is the 12th ranked quarterback he is the 12th highest paid quarterback in the NFL, just above Deshaun Watson, just below Jalen Hurts. And the fact that no one wants to give up a day 3 pick for him just so they don't have to fight with anyone else tells you what they believe in Kyler Murray. They think potentially with some coaching and some players around him that he could be a serviceable quarterback in the NFL. But as he currently is right now, no one believes he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. And the Kyler Murray truthers out there who are massive Kyler Murray guys and are saying that this is crazy for the Cardinals to outright cut him, look at what the rest of the NFL thinks of him. The rest of the NFL looks at him, sees his contract that is 12th highest in the NFL, and won't give up a day 3 pick for him. People like to mention that his contract is insane. It's just not anymore. And if you're someone that thinks he can be a top 10 quarterback on another team easily, the rest of the NFL is telling you that's not true. They're telling you, no, he's the 12th ranked guy. I'm sorry. No, he's a bottom 3rd ranked guy in the NFL, but with some coaching, maybe we can get him up to 15. Because his contract isn't bad anymore. But it's that's the other thing that I saw from this was it's going to be a hard pill to swallow. That you're probably wrong on this. Now, I was wrong on Kyler too. For a long time, I thought Kyler was a top 8 quarterback in the NFL. His highs got me super high up on Kyler. And his lows eventually got to me. And his inability to stay healthy, his inability to stay consistent football, or his inability to play consistent football, I don't know if he's going to work elsewhere. And if it's true that Kyler Murray could potentially be going to the Jets, sayonara, man, he might as well start playing for the A's now. I saw an idea floated out there by John Middlecoff, obviously very smart person. We follow each other on social media. He was like, he should go to the Chiefs for a year, sit behind, Patrick Mahomes, or play for Mahomes while Mahomes is out with an ACL injury. Or, a team like that, the Colts before Daniel Jones comes back. I'm like, oh, that's a smart idea. That's a good way to help your reputation. But the rest of the NFL sees him as a bit immature, not the most hardworking. They see his contract is too much for how good he is. And for all the Kyler Murray fans out there who have been advocating for this guy for a long time, look at the rest of the NFL. They don't agree with your assessment. And that's a harsh pill to swallow, even for me, because I was a big Kyler Murray guy. But if you're like a free market guy, the market is telling you what they think of him. And it's not highly of him. So that's a pretty crazy place to be where Kyler Murray is now. Yeah. Good show today, fellas. Just so you guys know, we are live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 a.m. On YouTube, talking all things Arizona sports. For anyone disagreeing with me, appreciate you guys always doing so and reacting to the content. Even if you think I'm an idiot, that's okay too. Do me a favor, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Follow me on all social media platforms at Ben Garcia Show. Thank you for tuning in to this edition of the Ben Garcia Show, and I will see you guys on Wednesday.